Hi everyone, I'm composer and sound designer Gary Hibner here from Tuts. And in this video, I want to show you how you can improve and reinforce your bass using sine waves. Now, getting the bass right in your music can be quite a task. One of the most common problems is actually getting enough bass in the mix. For example, take the song that I have over here. This is a future bass style track I'm working on. I've got these bass instruments over here that are playing the bass part of the song. Let's just take a listen to the song and then I'll isolate these bass parts. Cool. And here are the bass parts by themselves. There's just these 3 layered instruments. There's some super saw synth bass parts and then this alchemy bass part. So I like the line, but I'm not feeling the bass. And with future bass, as you can take from the title, it's a bass heavy genre. Now, a real handy trick is to layer a low sine wave under this. What this does is it reinforces the bass low sub areas and gives a more smoother bass level to your sound. So let's see how this is done. I'm going to create a new software instrument track. And on this, I'm going to copy the bass part. So let's just take that bass part here and copy it down. And then on this track, load up a synth instrument of yours that has a sine wave. In Logic, the ESX24 instrument, when you load it up, its default patch is a sine wave. So now this part is the same bass part as this. But what will really work is if you take the bass part and shift down the parts a whole octave. So I'm going to select all those notes and then shift them down an octave. And I'm just going to rename this track Sine Wave Bass. And I'll name the region that as well. Now let's take a listen to just those bass parts. And you might find that with the sine wave in, it's actually quite loud. So what you can do is drop the sine wave level quite a bit. Let's check this out. So play this back. It was here. Drop it down. And maybe bring it back up. Cool. So that's really adding in some extra low end to the sound. So let's take a listen through this a couple of times and just compare it before and after. So here's before. Now with it in. And without. If you just hear the part by itself, what you can do, if that initial attack is sounding too hard, you can just increase the attack. So it's a bit more of a subtle intro into that sound. Maybe just a bit more. Cool. Now let's hear it within the context of the whole song. So first I'll mute it. And then add it in. Bypass it again. And back in again. Awesome. So you'll hear how it really gives some extra bass to your overall mix. And it smooths out the bass area in a way. And these sound waves are really nice round sounding forms of synthesis, and they really work well layered with other bass instruments. And you could even take this part and shift it down even a further octave. Depending on your material, you can see if this works. So let's try this out. Drop it down one more octave. That's pretty low. And hearing it in isolation. Now, depending on your monitoring setup, it might be a bit low for you to hear, but let's try it out and see if it makes a difference. Here's before. And then add it in. With it out. And then back in. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I actually liked it up an octave. So I'll leave this sitting around here between the C1 and C2 region. So just remember to pitch it down an octave or even two so it covers that lower sub area. And you can even use a frequency or spectrum analyzer to see what area on the frequency range it's occupying. So this will just help you if it's a quite low sounding and you're not really hearing it. So here you can see it's sort of occupying the 80 to 100 hertz region along the frequency spectrum. And let's just double check again with it shifted down one more octave. Play it back with the frequency analyzer on. So you can see that's quite low, sitting around about 30 to 50 hertz. But like I said, I preferred it up an octave, so I'll get it back to there. And as you hear, it really just reinforces your bass and gives some extra low end, especially low sub area, to your bass regions on your track. So I hope that this tip helps you get better bass mixes in your song. Definitely try it out and see if it works. And if you liked this video and found it helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to keep up to date with future videos. So go in there and start adding sine waves for bass reinforcement in your music productions. I'm Gary Hibner from On Track Tuts, signing out.